Alright guys, it is that time of the week again and we are back for our championship score predictions. Plenty to talk through in today's video with big games at both sides of the table, and as always I want to get your thoughts on these games in the comments down below. Do drop a like if you go on to enjoy, but without any further ado, let's jump in. Starting out at the Stadium of Light for Sunderland against Hull. This is the Friday kickoff and the first game we've got to look forward to this weekend. Neither team particularly has been on a great run of form recently. You would say that this is a decent time probably to be playing Hull City, given the recent run of form and some of the key absences that they will be missing coming into this fixture, particularly in the final third where they do appear to be quite light at the moment as a result of some injuries. Now for Mick Beelin at Sunderland, it's just 2 wins in 6 across all competitions. With that being said, I do think this is a good opportunity for them to bounce back against a Hull side who were in action in midweek in the FA Cup. Rossini making 11 changes for that game against Birmingham, ultimately to lose it late on as well. Score prediction for me in this game, I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. Next then to Swansea up against Southampton. Can the Saints make it 20 unbeaten? Poetic that Russ Martin could achieve that feat going back to his previous club here. Now, to be honest, I do think there were a few positives that we took from that Swansea performance last time out. Luke Williams' first league game in charge. Good spell they had against Birmingham in the second half especially, but this game will be on a completely different level. Southampton in the reverse fixture absolutely wiped the floor with Swansea, beating them by 5-0. I am expecting this game to be a lot closer. Generally speaking, Southampton's matches on the road have tended to be a lot tighter, a lot of the time settled by a 1-goal margin or something like that. So while I can see some improvements from Swansea in this game, I do still think Southampton will take it on the road. Score prediction for me, I'm going to go 2-1 to the Saints in this one. After that we go to Ewood Park for Blackburn up against Huddersfield, and boy, either side could do with all 3 points in this game. It's a Huddersfield side who have got Sheffield Wednesday breathing down their necks at the moment, but things haven't been much smoother for Blackburn recently either. They've been tumbling down the championship, having only won 1 of their last 9 matches. They've got the worst defensive record in the championship, and surely Huddersfield should fancy their chances to get a goal or 2 in this one. Huddersfield not particularly been very high scoring this season. They're averaging 1 goal per game. On the road, their record's even worse than that, but with how open and error-prone Blackburn have been at the back, Darren Moore absolutely has to see this as an opportunity to pick up all 3 points. Now, despite Blackburn's recent drop-off in form, they've still been relatively decent at hitting the back of the net. In their last 9 matches, they've only failed to score in 3 of those games, so I would expect Blackburn to score in this game, but that dodgy defensive record just makes me fear for them, and Blackburn don't tend to do many draws either. Honestly, this game could go either way. Gut feeling says Huddersfield have to produce something here and take advantage of this dodgy run from Blackburn. So for me, I'm going to go 2-1 to the Terriers, but not massively confident in doing so. Bristol City against Watford next up, and honestly I've found Bristol City a really hard side to call all season. I got to see them up close and personal over the weekend as they travelled to Deepdale. Thought they looked pretty tidy on the ball in that first half, but they just didn't react to the changes Preston made in that second half, and ultimately that was their undoing and a bit of an underpar performance in that second half. With that being said, they had a reaction in midweek with a fantastic performance against West Ham. How much that game will have taken it out of them, we'll have to wait and see, and Watford could potentially play upon that. Obviously, a good result for Watford last time out, a Jake Livermore masterclass which delivered all 3 points for them against QPR. Honestly, I think I'm going to go for a draw in this fixture, maybe with a bit more fatigue in the Bristol City squad compared to Watford, but back at Ashton Gate where they've typically been quite strong recently, going to go for a 1-1 draw between these two. After that we head to the Riverside for Middlesbrough up against Rotherham. Now it is worth pointing out that perhaps Borough could have one eye on that semi-final second leg against Chelsea, which is going to be coming up in midweek after this Rotherham fixture, so that's worth considering when predicting this game, but I think this one probably comes at a decent time for Borough. Now, Rotherham did get one over on Middlesbrough in the reverse fixture back in December. Not sure I can see the same happening again. Rotherham's away record has been pretty miserable all season. They've taken 3 points from a possible 39 on the road so far. Last time out wasn't a massively encouraging performance against Stoke. They were looking pretty lethargic, especially in the final third, and Middlesbrough starting to get some of their key performers back fit as well. Score prediction for me in win this game. I'm going to go 2-0 Borough. Next up we go to Carrow Road for Norwich up against West Brom, and it was a great set of results for both sides over the weekend. Norwich getting the better of Hull in a really good away performance, and West Brom absolutely wiping the floor with Blackburn Rovers. Now, for the Baggies to really push on to this next level, it's sort of been their away form of late, which has been hindering them ever so slightly. Worth pointing out that the Baggies have lost 4 of their last 6 away matches. Generally speaking, they've been pretty consistent at home of late. If they can rectify that away form, suddenly they really are going to start looking like solidifying one of those spots in the top 6. Norwich certainly have their attacking threats, and in individual moments can kill you like that with some of the players they have. Think I'm talking myself into a draw in this fixture. Score prediction for me, going to go for a 1-1 between these two. Next up we go to Plymouth up against Cardiff. Plymouth have been fairly draw heavy recently. I think you can look at their recent form in 2 ways. It's only 1 defeat in 7, but it's also only 1 win in their last 7 matches. A lot of draws in the meantime for Plymouth, who have lost a hell of a lot of players in this January window. It's obviously worth pointing out, through them being recalled by their parent clubs. Their last meeting with Cardiff back in December turned out to be quite an entertaining game, a 2-2 draw in the end. Cardiff are looking to bounce back from last time against Leeds. When you find yourselves 2 goals down in the first half against Leeds, it was always going to be very difficult for them. These are the sort of fixtures they will be targeting, getting some more points from, but generally speaking, Plymouth have been good at home park this season. I think this is another one of the games this weekend which I wouldn't be surprised to see ending level. Plymouth have some stars in the final third who could put it on and make a difference, but gut feeling says 1-1 draw between these two. Next up we go to QPR up against Millwall, and boy could the home side do with a result in this game. Looking at the form book of late between these two sides, it's certainly Millwall who have the edge. I know they lost last time out against Middlesbrough, but generally speaking, they have been accumulating a lot more points of late than QPR have. Looking back to the previous fixture as well, it was Millwall who had the edge in that one, and I wouldn't be totally surprised to see the Lions doing a job on QPR once again. With that being said, I thought that the overall performance level from QPR against Watford last time was actually pretty decent. They got themselves into some really good areas. It was just some poor finishing, as has been the case on numerous occasions so far this season, which let them down, and 2 great strikes from Watford from outside the box, which ended up being the real sucker puncher for them. Don't know why, I can just perhaps see QPR pulling a result out of the bag in this one. I've backed a lot of away wins this weekend so far, so why not? I'll go for a 1-0 QPR win against the Cards there. Next up we go to Hillsborough for Sheffield Wednesday up against Cardiff. These 2 fan bases are going to get to know each other quite well over this next week or so, as they've got this meeting in the Championship followed by an FA Cup fixture straight after. Now, Coventry, one of the most informed sides in the Championship right now, stretching back to the middle of November. Only Leicester and Southampton have accumulated more points than Coventry have in that same time frame, which speaks to the consistency that they have been playing with recently. Sheffield Wednesday are certainly no mugs though, taking that same time frame into consideration from around about the middle of November when Coventry started on this good run of form. Sheffield Wednesday would be 9th in the form table. I know they got played off the park last time by Southampton, but the Saints will do that to a lot of sides at St Mary's this season, so there's no shame in going there and losing. I do think Wednesday will make this fixture a lot more competitive, but I think it is Cov who I'm giving the edge to. Score prediction for me, going to go 2-1 Coventry and back the good run to continue. Next then we head to Stoke up against Birmingham, and Stoke, generally speaking, are on a decent run right now. They are unbeaten in their last 7 matches, albeit 5 of those games have ended level. It was a good win for them last time in a fairly tight encounter with Rotherham. Lewis Baker making all the difference from that expertly taken free kick. This won't be easy though. I think that Blues, they've had a little bit more life about them of late under Tony Mowbray. Generally speaking, I thought the performance against Swansea was fairly decent. I know they had to salvage a last minute point from that game, but created a few more chances and also got a win in midweek against Hull in the FA Cup as well. The last minute winner from Miyoshi. Right now between these two sides, don't feel like there's going to be a hell of a lot in it. Still with 2 relatively new managers getting to grips with their squads there in Schumacher at Stoke and Mowbray at Birmingham. Prediction for me, Going to go for a 1-1 draw. It's Leeds against Preston next up, and Leeds will be looking for a bit of vengeance in this fixture. When they came to Deepdale on Boxing Day, it was a massively lethargic performance, and Leeds definitely didn't showcase the best of what they're capable of. Nowhere near that, in fact, and Preston managed to do a number on them. Now, it's an interesting time to be playing Preston. Generally speaking, the overall form book has been pretty miserable recently, but that second half performance against Bristol City last time out is probably some of the best football we've played in a while, with Emil Rees, Mads Frotjar and Will Keane all linking up as a forward four, with Liam Miller chipping into that as well. If that's the template going forward between now and the end of the season, then North End fans could be in for a bit more of an exciting ride. With that being said, I don't see that being the game plan going away to Leeds. I think it will be we'll try to make it a resolute and defensive performance, similar to how we approached the away game against Norwich not too long ago. Generally speaking, when Leeds play at Ellen Road, it only means one thing. They are the only Championship side yet to lose a home match this season, and Leeds can definitely have an off day, as we saw at Deepdale earlier in the season, but I can't see past the Leeds winning this one. I do think they'll get the better of us here. Score prediction, going to go 2-0 Leeds. Then to wrap things up, we go to the King Powerful Leicester up against Ipswich, a clash of the Titans at the top of the table. It's a Monday night fixture as well, so this will be played after all the other games have taken place. Leicester looking to bounce back from last time. They lost 3-1 against Coventry, and it's probably worth pointing out that neither side right now is completely at full strength, whether that's down to injuries, suspensions, players away due to AFCON or the Asia Cup. Both teams are slightly weakened right now, which adds to the drama of this one. If Ipswich do pull a result out of the bag in this one, they will close the gap at the top of the table to 4 points, which would claw back quite a considerable amount of ground towards Leicester. But the Foxes can sense this as an opportunity to just further extend their lead. The meeting between these two earlier on in the season, there really wasn't that much in it. Leicester took the lead in the first half at Portman Road, but Ipswich battled their way back into it. It took a late equaliser from Sam Morsey, but I think a deserved point from Ipswich in the end. A good result for the Tractor Boys last time out as well, albeit it is worth pointing out that Leicester have won their last 5 consecutive home matches. Score prediction for this one, a draw wouldn't surprise me, but I think I'm just edging it towards Leicester, fancying a Leicester bounce back in this one. Gonna go 2-1 to the Foxes. But guys, there you have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and do get all your score predictions in the comments down below. Other than that though guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.